We are starting our live again trading session. Let's have a look at the market. The hedge from the last time was really good. We hedged ETH and Solana along with Bitcoin short, and that saved our portfolio. Basically, we still lose a little bit of capital, but it could have been much worse than that. So I'm going to show you everything that's happening right now. Okay, let me just test whether everything is going fine. Yep, we have it here. Let me check whether we are live on Twitter. For some reason it seems like there's no video, but maybe there is. No, it's fine. So Twitter is live, YouTube is live. We can go on with the show. So this is basically what's happening right now. Overnight we had a pretty big dump on like a couple of percent on Bitcoin, and then if you look at Ethereum and Solana, it's also down and keep on going lower for now. Probably going back to the levels we had previously. If you look at the chart, so basically this is the support from before on Solana. So from the last week, Friday 21st, that was, and Saturday 22nd, that was the bottom. It was lower than the week on 10th of October, and we're revisiting that right now. And this is pretty crucial level. If we're going to reverse here, it's going to be good probably for a while. And if not, then we're going much lower. So we're going to see what will happen in the end. Same goes for, of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum. People were expecting that to be much more to the bullish side, myself included. So what I did, I'm going to revise the trades from the last time, where we were basically betting on that. What happened was this reversal, and right now it depends whether we go like that, so a little bit of the chop, or more to the downside, which can of course happen. I don't know what will be the scenario. We're going to revise that, probably put some positions, because as a reminder, we're also trying to get as many points on Lighter as possible. Streaming live, we have 11 right now, starting from 0 just a couple of weeks ago. So if you want to be on Lighter and get some additional bonuses, use the code down below in the description to this stream and keep on getting points. Those points will be probably worth a lot. Well, I hope so. At the very least, the current OTC price is around, I think, $80-90. Of course, no one knows what it will be when it launches. The most optimistic bullish scenarios are like $300 per point. More pessimistic ones are probably in the range of like $20, $30. No one knows. Something in between that. So this is a lot of variation. Of course, if you want to be on the safe side, you can just wait for TGE and try to buy that on TGE. This was a good strategy, for example, for Hype. If you weren't farming the Hype airdrop Hyperliquid, then you could buy very well on the TGE, and then it would give you basically like 10x if you were to hold it from like $4, $3 to like 30, 40. So even more. I mean, the lowest probably was like $2 on the launch if you managed to get it in quickly, and if you hold it to the absolute top at close to even 60, I think, dollars, that was like 50 something. So it was close to $30, 30x liquid on Hype if you heard from the TGE. So that was a really great deal. I would expect Lighter might do something similar. In the worst case scenario, of course, nothing here is financial advice. Crypto is risky, you can lose everything. But if for some reason we end up in a bear market, it might be bear market already, and if Lighter points will not really get much of the, the valuation of points will get to like $10 level or something like that, then what might happen is that it might be a good buy at TGE for a longer term buy, because Lighter is doing great things. This is a great exchange. So I'm pretty bullish on Lighter overall. As for the whole generation of this new perp dexes, which I have on cryptoexchange.sh, if you didn't know, this is the DEX airdrop points calculator where you can estimate potential points. Recently added Gravity to that, one of the newer exchanges they have currently, season 2, which is pretty great. Apart from that, there are a couple of exchanges worth farming that I'm farming myself, from the classics like Lighter Extended to a little bit less known like Gravity, but also Vest and Ostium. Those are for tokenized stocks. Really recommended if you're more into equities. This will be great. But for everything, you can calculate basically how much points you can estimate, how much points will give you what value precisely. Okay, going back to the what we traded last time. This is our portfolio 7-3. So let's sum it up what we did. This will be then clear what we had. So we have 7-3 right now, meaning the PNL from last time was well, almost minus $200, right? Like minus 198. And what we did, we had Solana long, ETH long, and Bitcoin short. So market turned down. Sol plus ETH long lost. BTC short hedge saved us. So that was really great hedge in the end. I mean, it would be much worse, as you could see here. We would go basically to $400 here with the equity, but we're still fighting. And actually, it could be much better than that. I was too tight with the take profit here on the short, because we did that at $90,000. So we were shorting from like 92, right? If you see that, we were opening that short at $92,000, right? You probably can you see that? Probably you can, yeah, you can see that. So $92,000 was the opening short price, and the close price was $90,000. We could basically safely do something like 88,000 instead of the 90, but yeah, I wanted to be on the safe side. If we put something like 88, then we probably would be in profit even right now, and that would be an entirely different scenario. But yeah, I didn't want to risk that. Good thing we had pretty tight stop losses here on ETH and Sol. Not that tight, but yeah, still pretty good. And so we didn't lose entirely our stack, and we're still free to play. So I'm probably going also for this week. As a reminder, I'm streaming mostly Mondays and Fridays, not every Monday, not every Friday, but I'm trying. I'm probably planning to be to play this kind of levels, because if you look at it, I would bet that we won't go much below that. I wouldn't bet. So my basically bet would be try to do something like here with the stop loss. Maybe even in this session we're going to see the prices go lower. Ideally, if we see something like a week down here, this would be a perfect bidding spot, because that's precisely the resistance from the past. And if we go beyond that, then definitely we go even much lower. But ideally, I would like to bid around here. So this would be the perfect bidding zone for this week, if we manage to get there. So yeah, maybe just put the limit orders with the stop. Maybe I do something different than the last time. I'm just thinking we can wait also a little bit and see whether the price changes. The hype is also super down. Oh, actually the hype is in a spot that is super interesting, because especially after unlocks, 11% down. This is a good actually buying spot. Again, I might do that actually here. Let's do $3,000 position, and we're going to be pretty tight with the stop losses. Like let's check something like 27.5 or maybe 28. Let's go with 28 for now, or maybe 27.9. This is a little bit like catching knives. You shouldn't do that. As a reminder, what I'm doing here is super risky. This is not what I'm doing normally. I'm trying to, do super risky trades in order to really elevate this account, or lose it all but get points in the meantime. So definitely not recommended what I'm doing right now. Anyway, this is a nice buying spot. If you are to reverse it even a little bit, this might be a really great spot, and we could probably get some price like $33. This would be probably like what I would bet here. But if you look at the price action, then same for Solana. It's look like it's waiting to go even lower than that. So maybe actually let me do the short this session. I'm going to go with I mean, super tempting to short ETH here. In principle, that should try to test this lower range, but let's see. Yeah, this live scalping. We're waiting for a wick down, or ideally, if that doesn't happen, we're going to close. I'm putting definitely more size than usual on this account, but it's definitely worth trying for what might happen. Yeah, for now it doesn't look that great, but let's see. So what we have here. So yeah, so last time, as you remember, we were longing Ethereum from 3060 and basically closed at 3000, so a little bit above 3000. So that wasn't much of the, much of a loss. Same for Solana. We were longing from 142, and we closed it down to 134, which is the previous levels here. And we went much lower. So again, I think here we are in super interesting spot right now. So this is a classic Monday dump that we had for the past weeks. And usually there's a second leg. There's like this leg that basically goes like, if you have this massive blow down, then usually it's a little bit down, and then you have the second leg as well. Of course, markets often rhyme, not only are the same. We're trying something different here. Let's see whether we get completely liquidated here with the move up, or we double the account, because maybe that's something that would make sense. Probably I would be closing around here. So the take profit for that move would be something like 2665, right? Yeah, on the other hand, you have much clearer hype bouncing from this previous lower level, so it's not that bad. Yeah, we're going to see whether we manage to overcome this volatility on ETH, or are we going to get killed entirely? So yeah, this is the move. This is what we're looking at. Let's see what will be the price action here. As I've mentioned, one of the options here is basically this double move down. And if you look in the past, then let me show you some of the examples that actually happen here. You basically have that everywhere. If you, well, maybe not everywhere, because okay, let me just see. For example, you had this move here, right? Like a little bit up and then down. You had this move here, a little bit up and then down. But even on the shorter scale, this is the move that we're looking at, right? You have the first week and then more down. We're looking for the lower time frames. So because ideally we'd love to have that in this session. And usually you have a sharp reversal after that. So if, for example, for some reason you're going to get it, then well, I don't know how low it will go, but usually it reverses after the second leg down, reverses quite quickly. So better to have take profits even on the, say more on the safe side. I think again, like with hype, this is the level that that is interesting here, that I have, and we're going to see whether it will sit. So for now it reverses a little bit. But we can still get pretty liquidated for the entire account here if we are not careful. I mean, it's pretty nice that we have hype also at a different level, because the equivalent version for hype, actually, if it were to play exactly the same like Ethereum, would be probably somewhere around here. So you would still have the potential for this move down. Whereas right now, I don't think it will move much lower, unless it breaks and it moves much lower, even, because we're already at the second leg. So if we compare that to this price here, then this is basically the level that hype is already at. And this is where our take profit for this ETH short is. So that's why I'm playing it a little bit more aggressively than usual, counting on the fact that there's going to be some impair mean reversion, I would say, or at least the leveling of those levels. Let's see what will happen. Anyway, looking at other stuff, of course, ETH is a little bit correlated with other assets. So what you might get is that if Bitcoin for some reason reverses, then ETH probably will reverse at this point too. But it doesn't look great. I mean, the market would look much better if we would keep on going even slowly, much higher. In this scenario of like going, a little bit higher, this is good, and it could go basically until, well, maybe not here, but maybe until like the mid of December. Because if you remember from the past years, after mid of December, more and more people are looking for the way out, because of course they want to close the losses if they have, or the wins, and book the gains or losses for the year. So if you tax harvesting for some reason, then the perfect way to exit the positions is before the end of the year. So usually that happens in the second half of December, and this is where we might see a lot of the losses being booked, which also means that a lot of selling will also happen in the second half of December. This is what I'm betting. I'm betting basically on the fact that we're going to see even lower prices in the second half of December, and some of that money might come back in again at beginning of January. So there's going to be some volatility by the end of the year. This is what I'm counting on. Of course, again, not financial advice. Crypto is risky. You can lose all your capital, especially if you're doing risky things like that. This is my strategy at the very least, and what I'm counting. Other than that, I'm like very chill in the markets. I'm only trading right now on different perps, trying to get the as much points as possible on different perps and as much volume. I'm not trying to hold any spot really. I don't think that this is not for me at least. It's not the time to buy spot. I'm interested in a couple of stuff when it comes to spot, but already, and some of the prices are already looking pretty interesting. So from the things that I'm looking at, of course, Bitcoin, of course, Ethereum, Solana for buying back. Apart from that, Hype, where is it? Hyperliquid. This is getting more and more interesting to buy back. yeah, around 20, probably sub 20. This is a great buying spot for me. I'm not sure we go that low. Depends on the depends on the general price action, because right now we have this novel scenario of like more competitors coming into the market with like lighter, extended, variational, Pacifica, blah blah blah, so many other stuff. So there will be pressure on hype, and on the other hand, if we have bear market, this is also bear for hype, and it's probably bear on leverage, because Hyperliquid takes its money, in principle, makes its money from traders. And if there's less traders than usual, then this flywheel of generating fees will only go down. Meaning less and less people will be interested to trade because there will be less capital, which means that there's less buybacks of hype token by the team itself. And on top of that, there's already unlocked hype from the team. So far, I don't think there's been much selling, but there's no communication regarding that they will hold it, and it's only understandable because they've been building the product, really great product, for many years. So it's only understandable that they're going to take some kind of profit, and they take profit by selling hype, especially if you're a team member, like one of the founding engineers. There's only, I think, 11 or 12 people on the team. It's very natural that you want to sell some of that stack of hype that you have. So yeah, hype for the accumulation. And also, I'm looking at Zcash. Pretty great price action recently. I mean, if you're looking for buying opportunities at the very least. But as a reminder, that was only like around $40 just a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. Like under $100, and then it suddenly went up to 750. Maybe let me show you 1 month. Or maybe 3 months, that would be easier, right? So end of September, beginning October, there's an interest in Zcash. Suddenly it jumps to over $100. That generates more of the buzz, of course, online. And suddenly we have this growing price, with being unlocked, and this being marketed as the privacy Bitcoin, which it is. It's a fork of Bitcoin with some privacy in rules, which is great. So definitely great potential for holding, even though if you're an OG holder of Zcash, you might have different opinion, because this is the coin that basically did nothing for a lot of time. And if you are holding that, especially, if you were holding that from 2017, from the very beginning, this is pretty much the same price you have in 2025. So if you weren't selling the tops, if you weren't trying to price the tops, you decided, just like with Bitcoin, you hold for 10 years and see what happens, then you would basically be looking at the same price action in August 2005. So after like 9 years, right? 9 years, you would have the same price, which is crazy. So not really great investment if you're just holding and not trying to sell it. Which means that from my perspective, at least, I mean, the narrative might change right now. People like the market is more mature. People are looking for different stuff. On the other hand, Bitcoin went really up, which also might mean that people will be looking for other Bitcoins or other narratives. Privacy narrative is pretty great in the world we live in, and it's only to get stronger. And Zcash is a great contender because this is a technology that was here for already a couple of years. It's pretty well known. All the unlocks were done. There's only people mining Zcash. So pretty much like with Bitcoin. So from that perspective, this is really great. But I'm looking for the proper bear market to buy it. Maybe I will start accumulating. I ideally around $100 or lower. This is my ideal scenario, but who knows? This is the 4 or 5 coins that I have in mind. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Hype, Zcash, yeah, that's 5. And apart from that, I'm just looking at the other stuff, but nothing really interesting for now, at least for longer term hold, because I think the market will be in an entirely different spot in 5-6 months, and I'm not meaning that to be like super bullish. I'm not really bullish for the future, so we're going to see what will happen, but I'm more on the shorting side. And we're going to see whether that will change. But for now, it is what it is. I'm not interested in super longing this market or buying a lot of spot. Just holding stables and chill and occasionally trade one direction or the other. We're going to see what will happen. Yeah, I'm not. We might. Yeah, I'm thinking whether I want to hold this if long. It's very tempting because I think we might revisit this region here. I'm just not sure about the timeline. I guess something like I think it's fine. The reason for that being that so if you think about this position, shorting Ethereum, longing hype, hype was definitely in this cycle was much stronger coin than Ethereum. Ethereum was pretty stable. So in the sense, you're longing strength, shorting weakness, and also level-wise, hype basically went minus 11%, 10% down, which is quite a lot. So it's more bound to reverse here. I'm just thinking whether I should add a little bit more long to to balance it out and basically ride this position. Oh, nope. This is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to actually buy more. Okay. I accidentally sold and rebought. That's not bad, but yeah, I don't have much. I mean, to be honest, risk-reward ratio of that levels and stop losses, I think it's pretty good. There's a chance that, for example, if will get us down, but we win on hype, and that pretty much will be break even though those notational position is there's much difference, because if I bought if for like $17,000, hype for $3,000, so there's huge difference, but there are totally different levels and price actions, and this is pretty good, I think. Yeah, I'm going to stay with those positions. So this is basically what we're doing. If short plus hype long, down trading, trending market. Yeah, so this betting on strength versus weakness in a downtrending market. This is how I view this trade, and I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think I can stay with that, and just we're going to revisit that position later on and see whether what we got. Of course, there's always a chance that I'm going to get liquidated on both of those positions. In this case, I'm probably going to have like $200 back to trade, and this will amount to like one super risky position basically. But we're going to see. Maybe that's maybe we'll get pretty good levels here. I mean, there's always a chance, like hype going even lower and then Ethereum going a little bit higher before going lower. We might hit our stop loss before it goes down. Who knows? I think this is a pretty good bet overall. A risky one because we are in a super volatile and risky market. And if you're still playing around, it's super risky. It's like the time to, of course, take the chips off the table was mostly in October, before the 10th of October. That was around the all-time highs. But even now, I think it might be a good idea if you right, like if you look especially at the Ethereum prices of like $4,700 here or here. You know, this was the all-time high for Ethereum this cycle. We didn't get to 5,000, but still close. I'm not sure we are going to revisit these levels, especially not in this time of the year, unless, of course, something unexpected would happen, like some new laws or printing new money and giving that away to people. There is, of course, something macro that can happen, but if not, if nothing extraordinary happens, then basically we're going to trend down, because the entire market is trending down from, like, if you look from this moment, basically. So the Friday 10th of October was the pivotal moment. We got a bit of a V reversal then, but then it's all trending down. So for the past 2 months, basically, we had the lower price actions, and it's probably won't change in a future. This is the super curious. I mean, we're very risky right now because we have pretty tight stop losses. So it means that we can lose, even though the directionally we are right here. But yeah, I don't have more capital in this account, so it is what it is. We have to play with what we have. For this streaming challenge, it looks like it's all or nothing right now, or at least maybe almost all or nothing. $650 in our in equity, and we're going to see where it will lead us. So this is what's happening right now. Let me look at some of the what our whale is doing. So especially I'm looking at money printers over $1 million in PNL. Those people are bearish, and for some of the coins they're very bearish, like Zcash, Pump, Aster, Fartcoin, ANAP. Those coins are super bearish. I actually didn't check the Fartcoin price. I can actually check Fartcoin, and yeah, minus 7%. But it's still pretty high, actually. It's much higher than and it got this V reversal here. Very interesting, very tempting to short as well. So I see that trade. Pump. Yeah, pump is again at this level, so I think this is like the support resistance zone. It will be much harder to do it. And this was like historically that was the support level around this area. So in principle, that should be a better long. So another idea for a trade would be probably long pump, short Fartcoin. This is pretty interesting. I mean, I don't have capital here to do it, so won't be executing that. But that might be something you want to think about. Of course, again, not financial advice. You can lose everything, but there's a lot of education and a lot of research to be made, and a lot of interesting stuff you can do. But yeah, shorting Fartcoin, longing pump is pretty interesting trade overall. Especially that, pump should be like hype with buybacks. Fartcoin is in the same category, but without it. So in the way, it's like a degen version of shorting Ethereum, longing hype. Hype has buybacks. Ethereum has more of the weakness. Pretty interesting trade, even though currently it doesn't work in my favor. We're going to see what will happen and how low or high it will go. Yeah, checking for comments. Let me know if you have any thing you want me to look at. Other than that, I'm probably going to finish here. Looks like we're good for the session. Yep, this is what I'm leaving right now. Have that in my logs. We're going to finish here and probably revisit that Friday or next Monday. I think, yeah, we have take profits and stop losses for all the positions, so should be fine if we hit those. Yeah, in the worst scenario, I think we're going to lose everything, or at least we have something like $200. In the best scenario, we're going to do 2x or 3x on the account, which is also fine. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to